After Kate Katzberg is Susan Frenson. Sorry.
I'm not wearing an appeal sign. What must that mean? I believe the separation of church and state is important much in the way that I believe in the wisdom of three branches of government. Now, there is the heart, the head, and the spirit, and they each have their place: home, school, and church. I believe there is a place for this mural, but it is in another place where those who subscribe to its sentiment can appreciate it. The concept of God is not one on which we can all agree, and has been the subject of much lively debate. I'm sure since the very first person came up with one. We can, however, agree on the alphabet, numerals, the rules of gravity, and dodgeball. If I were of a particular religious persuasion other than Christian and was subjected to the presence of a dominant doctrine, I would feel a betrayal of my own personal spiritual beliefs. One's faith is personal, and I believe right. To wit, prayer is private and so cannot be censored. As a perceived Jew in high school in the 70s, and indeed many of my forebears were, I suffered the prejudices and popular assumptions by students and teachers alike that the Jews killed Christ, had horns on their head, and drank the blood of Christian babies, and I am not making this up. I remember in junior high school in the late 60s that on Wednesday mornings there was release time, which was when the Catholic kids were at their catechism classes preparing for their confirmation, and that meant the few of us
Do I need to have the police come down and monitor who's speaking while other people are speaking? Because otherwise we're going to have police in every aisle. Be quiet unless you're at the microphone.
When the classes, they were preparing for their confirmation, and that meant the few of us remaining had to sit in homeroom for an extra period. It happened that my first class of the day was with my homeroom teacher, so that meant not only homeroom period, but additional 2 periods were spent with the most monotonous speaker on the planet. But seriously, it was the beginning of feeling like an other, and it was the beginning of kids telling me that I was going to hell for not being baptized, and it was terrifying to me. And most recently, at last month's meeting, I was told that I was going to burn in hell by someone who doesn't even know me. The vilification of atheists exhibits a lack of compassion and a respect for another person's journey in life. This is a place of public education, where the work of learning the skills to develop the full potential for becoming adults and capable contributors to society takes place. One of these important skills is critical thinking. What I have seen in this debate is an intolerance of critical thinking in favor of unquestioning belief in a dominant theology that seeks to silence others. I have read the words of the mural and can appreciate its place within a community of faith, which is fine and good. But this is a community of learning, of which there is a diversity of people that must be given full and equal access to public education. And by the way, my last comment is any additional dollar that this school system spends on this case, rather than on a decent education for my 2 children, is an outrage.
Susan.